Randomly generated dungeon crawlers are a relatively popular genre nowadays, and the new game Crawlout on PS4 takes an interesting approach at this. But is this game going to truly make you feel like a hero, or should it just be locked away in a dungeon? Crawl is a very much action-oriented, potentially chaotic, multiplayer dungeon crawler. Basically, you're playing as a hero, and everyone else who's playing the game along with you controls spirits that are trying to kill you and stop you from completing your quest. Basically, how it works is you have one main hero who's trying to defeat the boss at the end and escape. Everybody else who's playing will control either hazards, traps, or summon monsters in order to try to stop them. Whoever lands the killing blow on the hero, though, takes control of the hero. In order to make it to the end, though, you have to reach a certain level of experience, then travel to the boss dungeon and battle him. If you're able to successfully beat the boss, well, you're the victor of that game. But if the boss ends up slaying you, which is aided by all the spirits of the other players, well, then you go back to the dungeon and continue onwards until someone's able to finally slay the monster, or you run out of chances and the monster escapes and you all end up getting a game over. The game has extremely simplistic controls with an attack and a special attack, each of which can only be used a bit before they have to recharge. Usually your main attack recharges pretty quickly, but depending upon the type of special move you're going to be doing, will recharge slower or faster depending upon what type it is. When you're playing as the hero, your goal, of course, is to explore the dungeon. When you enter in a room, if enemies end up spawning, you'll have to defeat them, or you'll have to sometimes break down red crystals in order to get doors to open up. All the other players are floating around the room, taking possession of all the objects in the room, including traps and summoning circles where they're able to summon a monster. When you're playing as the spirits, you get to pick 3 monsters to go into the dungeon with, and as you gain Wrath, which is basically the experience for the ghost entities, you're able to upgrade your monsters to summon bigger and badder ones in order to stop the hero quicker. As a hero, though, every monster you slay, you're going to be gaining experience, and the bigger and badder monsters you slay, the more experience you get, with your goal being to reach the level needed in order to use the portals. There is a portal on every single floor in order to go to the boss of the dungeon. However, you can only use it once per floor, so if you end up traveling to the boss and you end up failing, if someone else takes control of the hero while still on that floor, they won't be able to go instantly to the boss. They'll have to go down to the next floor. Also, you're going to be gaining gold throughout your adventure to go to the shop and buy new weapons, which thankfully they tell you, if there's going to be an increase of speed or attack power. You can also buy relics that you can equip that will give you stuff like, when you're low on health, a boost to your attack, or you can also change out your special move, either by buying the different new special attacks, as well as there's also some potions to buy, which will sometimes give you either increased strength but lower defense, or of course bring back some of your health. The catch is, though, you can only buy stuff while you're alive as the hero, so if you're the spirits, you'll have to wait until you take control of that hero in order to go into the shops, and the shop's items change up every floor, so you may end up getting the luck of the draw and get the really awesome stuff when you go into the shop, but on the next floor when someone else takes over, they may not be so lucky with what ends up being available. The game is able to be played up to 4 players at a time, either you and 3 bots, or you, friends, and then the remainder spots empty, or with bots. You can just play with yourself and 1 bot if you want it to, but of course that's going to end up making things a bit easier, but it may be a good way to kind of ease your way into the game. Trust me though, when you end up having 3 hard or normal controlled bots going into the dungeons, things get quite chaotic and pretty darn fun. This is also the kind of game that will test your friendships, because of course you are working with your friends who are also playing as the spirits, but it's whoever lands that killing blow is the one who ends up taking control of the hero. So while you all have that goal to kill him, only one person's going to become the hero, and overall only one person's going to eventually be able to slay the boss potentially. While I wouldn't say the action-oriented part of the gameplay is anything particularly new, though it is done pretty well, I think the whole part of playing as the spirits and controlling the traps and other stuff in the rooms is what ends up being the most fun for sure, and reminds me a little bit of Haunting starring Poltergeist back from the Sega Genesis days. As you're going through taking control of new monsters and evolving them throughout the course of gameplay, you'll also unlock them in the kind of bestiary encyclopedia, where you'll also be able to unlock the challenges. Basically, here you're able to select whatever monster you've already played as and complete a challenge with them, where you have to face off against a certain number of heroes, where you have a main goal in mind. Of course, your main thing is to see how high you're possibly able to get the score, but if you're able to at least reach that goal number, you'll complete the challenge. From the technical side of things though, the game ran smoothly. I didn't run into major glitching, crashing, or slowdown of any sort. Crawl is available now on the PlayStation 4, and it does feature a full trophy list, including a platinum. Overall, Crawl is going to be the kind of game that's not for everyone, but if you're looking for a new multiplayer experience to have with friends when they come over, this game can be a lot of fun. It's pretty easy to kind of pick up and learn with its simple control scheme, and isn't overly complicated. There is a lot of strategy that can potentially be involved, but I think people will be able to easily kind of get into it and enjoy the experience. Plus, it has that really awesome, chaotic, competitive nature to it. Also, I have to say the soundtrack is awesome. It has, of course, a chiptune 8-bit style of soundtrack, and it is fantastic. And if you're playing the game just by yourself with the bots, it's still pretty fun. I was actually enjoying some of the matches I was doing against the computer, but it wasn't quite as fun as it's going to be with friends, that is for sure. However, with everything said, I'm going to be giving Crawl on the PS4 a 7 out of 10. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.